right, welcome back. I'm trying to sample what you're saying on social media. If I find it, I will read it. But Alex and Mheshimiwa, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, what I wanted to say, Sam, is just to put the record straight. You know, when a president retires, part of the team he goes home with is this also the person will be accounting for resources which are allocated for that office. And I do believe he still keeps the former controller, Governor Kinuthia. I think he still is in the office. Now, what would happen procedurally is that the controller of the retired president would make a requisition to the sitting controller. Because from where we sit, the accounting officer for the resources under that office is the controller of State House. So what would happen is he would make a requisition to the current controller of State House, who now is supposed to authorize the expenditure. So I think in terms of communication, we should be seeing, as we are saying, this date, this letter was written to the current controller, and then, as I said earlier, the person who should now be answering all these questions in terms of how much money have you released to this office is the current controller of State House. Actually, any time we are discussing the budget of State House or the presidency, we only interact with the controller of State House because that's the person who defends the budget and is the person who implements the budget. Right. So at the end of the day, what is expected is that we should be, as a parliament now, if this matter is picked by parliament, and I think the law is very clear, parliament should be able to pick any matter of public interest. So if that happens, then what will happen is that we will be able to summon the controller of State House, and then the other question in terms of how much money have you released to this office, when was the money released, and with that now, that record, you can be able to dilute most of these allegations, because I hear chairman saying it's allegations, it's like he doesn't believe them. The only way to do this is just provide the data. Yes. That's on this date.
So who should do that?
That should be now the control of State House, because he's the accounting officer. He's the one who should be telling Kenyans.
Who is supposed to complain officially to Parliament? Is it Kanzedena? Is it Uhuru?
Any Kenyan can complain. You know, we can petition Parliament on any matter, but the committee which oversights this matter is the Administration and Internal Security Committee. That's the one which oversights the presidency. So that should be the starting point. But even as this budget, we should be able to pick the matter in terms of budget implementation, because we have released the money. And for your information, this information should be just public information, because I think every month, if I remember well, the exchequer releases are always provided by Treasury in a public, I think in their website. At the same time, the controller of budget, I think also releases reports which indicate how much has been given to each office. So for me, I think the controller of State House is the one who should be telling Kenyans how much money have I released to this office. But if you listen carefully to the chairman, the clause he read in the Retirement Benefits Act, that's where the problem is. That's the elephant in the room. The question of the retired president by law is expected not to be inactive in politics if he has to get this money. That's the requirement of the law. Actually, there are things he should not do if he has to benefit from this money. And as you can see, depending on the interpretation you give it, what is coming out is like the current regime believes strongly that the retired president is active in politics. And on the basis of that, then all these things must be done to tame him and put him where he belongs. That he should be quiet, enjoying his benefits, advising the current government. But Sam, let's not forget, and this is biblical, the Bible says, do to others what you would expect to be done to yourself. If you listen to the chairman is telling Kenyans, when President Uhuru was the president of this country, he had as the sitting president to an extent that the sitting president had to fuel his own vehicles. Now it is time for retired president to fuel his own vehicles, and he has done it. It was confirmed by President.
Okay, so, let me hear from you, Alex.
So I think let me pick it from where Mheshimiwa has ended in terms of being active in politics, because that has to be defined. What is it that you are saying the president is doing and is therefore active in politics? What the President's Retirement Benefits Act provides is that the retired president shall not hold office in any political party for more than 6 months after ceasing to hold office as president. So I think what we should be hearing is what office is he holding what did he hold up to the 6 months after retiring? We are how many months after the elections? So
it's close to 2 years.
2 years. So how could you use the same clause which speaks to 6 months, 2 years later, to say that he's active in politics or he's holding an office, of a political party? So if we were to get such details, then that would help with this particular debate, and also get details as to how much has been allocated to the president. I wanted to also highlight that within section 3 of that particular act, section 4, it actually provides the circumstances under which benefits may not be paid, so that it's not subject to debate. And the circumstances are there has to be a vote by the National Assembly supported by 2/3, and through that vote they then decide to withdraw either whole or part of the benefits. To my recollection, we have not had that being done up to now. And in terms of benefits, they're very clear, because when you look at section 5 of the same act, if you're talking about new cars, you'll find it there. If you're talking about four-wheel vehicles, you'll find them there. If you go to the end of that act, it has a schedule. Personal assistants, secretary, messengers, basically the staff for that particular office. That is also taken care of within the act. So again, back to the rule of law, and I don't know much about politics. I leave it to my colleagues, but clearly there's a problem.
So, Honorable Coach, tell us, because like he reads, Section 4 of the Presidential Retirement Benefits Act provides that it is the National Assembly that is to take the motion. So when was that motion passed to deny the former president his benefits?
First of all, he's not be denied his benefits. What I read from both Kanzadena and Dr. Maura is that there's definitely some breakage of communication and information, so that we get to know at what point what is.
No,
because from
you just told me that because he has been in office, a political office, being a party leader of Jubilee.
The chairman of Azimio. He's an active chairman of Azimio, and he's a Jubilee party leader. Okay. That is no. Okay, he's in Kione's faction.
That's another one you cite.
Yeah.
So if that is true, and therefore justifies that he should not get some of these benefits, is that what you're saying?
I said, if you recall, about when I just spoke first, I did say that this government is not petty. It will not do to Uhuru Kenyatta what he did to William Ruto. It is not that petty. He will get his remuneration. He will get his benefit. All I was saying is that there must be channels of communication within government structure.
I was here.
What Kanzadena is doing is becoming a trade unionist for the office of the retired president. She is not making communication. When you bring information to public...
Let's tie this. Yes, you say that because he has been holding a political office, there's a law that says that he should not be getting this benefit.
For me and
no, wait. Yes. But the same law is saying that it is Parliament to pass a motion. No motion has been passed.
Absolutely.
So why is this happening?
It shouldn't be a problem, and I don't want us to overthink about this scenario. All we should say is that every Kenyan is suffering at the moment. Uhuru Kenyatta and his office should not be an exception. It should not even be a debate. Kenyans don't have food on their table. What is the sense of urgency? Uhuru Kenyatta
then why do you pass
Kenyatta
budgets?
As a person is a man of means.
Honorable Koech, surely, why do you pass budgets? He's a man of means for himself, isn't it?
So even him let me tell you today, even if he was given the vehicles that he's demanding that are going to cost about 140 million, that is demanding, he will hardly use those vehicles. So
why do you pass budgets, Honorable Koech?
Yeah.
If you're passing budgets and Kenyans are suffering, why are you passing them?
Not even that. Forget about... Every Kenyan is suffering. We pass budgets. He understands. Even right now, I mean, even in my own committee, there has been no exchequer that has been released to some of the of the things that we allocated in the last financial year. We might just, some of those things might just...
So why are you passing those budgets if there's no financing?
You just saw Kshp.503 Murkomen saying we have El Nino effect, okay? To the tune of 37 billion, the infrastructure has been damaged, and we need that money urgently. What is so urgent that we must cater for a president who is otherwise comfortable?
You see, that's what I'm asking you, because look, and we'll get to that conversation about budgets. You're allocating education, I think, about 645 billion shillings.
Yes.
you're allocating 173 billion shillings to the Defense Ministry.
Yes.
And indeed, you'll allocate, I don't know how much it is specifically for the Office of Retired.
Dr. will tell you has been enhanced because of food, what is it called?
Let me just pose the question.
Program.
So why are you passing this budget if you're not going to finance and give the excuse that Kenyans are suffering?
I will say this, and this will be my final response, that the Office of the Retired President, Uhuru Kenyatta, should be patient. They will get their money. There is no need to dramatize.
At the end of the financial year, or post the financial year, when?
Whichever. I mean, all of us miss.
He says that once the financial year is gone, the money is gone.
They are lucky that they are expecting something. There are Kenyans who don't have any job. There are Kenyans who have never retired because they have never been employed. He's lucky that he's been a president and that his father has been a president.
What Kenyans as really? Is that how you want to argue? Take a look at the flip that has come to us. Assistant TV Kenya Sam Gituku. The hashtag to use is citizen daybreak. And okay, now I don't have the feedback. And Lucky Boy Maingi, please ask Dr. Mulu his take on one man. We'll get to that. But first, I wanted to have a look at what Kenyans are saying about. Sir Nixon Ndugiri is still fresh in our minds of how stale the relationship between Uhuru and his deputy. The ill treatment then, the deputy is now the president. The best revenge is to be unlike him, who performed the injury. Sawe, KK must understand that this issue is not about Uhuru, but about the office of the fourth president. The benefits for this office are clearly outlined in the constitution. Well, it's in the law. The presidents were to protect, not selectively implement parts of it while ignoring others. Peter, you're saying that the former president should be given his budgetary allocation in good time. The issue of being a landlord and tenant at the same time brings conflict of interest. Let him occupy the office let President Mwai Kibaki was occupying. And Bobo Tieno, you're saying that for sure when Kanzedena cries for money for fourth president of Kenya at a time we are struggling to fix our economy, it reminds me of the saying, the rich also cry. Okay. Gadua Gashora, very ridiculous argument by Honorable Koech, which he should separate the office of retired president from Uhuru Kenyatta and the person rather. Let's bring back decorum in our debate even as we argue. All right. And Engineer Rosaro, Honorable Koech, law is very clear on how retired presidents should be facilitated. Advise your party boss to uphold the constitution all the time. Others remember, power is temporary. And so that's your take this morning. And I want us to transition to matters of the budget. And as we do so, there's something else I just wanted to pull out here that talks about what an office should be. The Section 5, pension and other benefits of retired presidents. It includes that a retired president shall, during his lifetime, be entitled to suitable office space, not exceeding 1,000 square meters, with appropriate furniture, furnishings, office machines, equipment, and other supplies to be provided and maintained by the government. It does not in anywhere, in any place, say a suitable office of his choice. It just says suitable office space to be provided by the government. Kanzedena was talking about of his choice. It's not in the law. But vehicles are in the law of his choice.
Yeah, vehicles are in the law.
They just didn't put a cap how much they should be. And Honorable Koech is not happy with that. So let's transition to